Alright, so you want to make yourself some passive income with NFTs. Well, let me just say right off the bat, it can be done. A lot of people say it can't. I'm here to tell you, I'm living proof, it can be done. But there are a lot of risks involved, a lot of things to consider, and hopefully after watching this video, you guys will be more educated on the subject and be able to make a better decision for yourself. So if you guys are new, drop a like, subscribe, and let's get right into it. So the first thing we have to think about is some of the risks that come with trying to make passive income with any kind of asset. And that is, of course, the fact that the asset could go down. This even goes for the stock market, gold, it goes for anything, even things that are traditionally considered safe. Even if you're locking away your Ethereum for a 5% yield per year, just about anything could go down in value. So even if you're invested in a really safe stock on the stock market, can still go down. So NFTs, obviously being as volatile as they are, they kind of throw a bit of a wrench in this equation because NFTs are even riskier than most assets out there. But doesn't matter. We don't need to let that discourage us. How can we be as safe as possible when trying to find passive income for NFTs? Okay, so before we do that, I need you guys to think something to yourself. What exactly is passive? What exactly does an asset have that inherently makes it a passive form of income? Well, obviously something you don't have to worry about, right? Well, if you find something that's very risky or maybe has bad communication from the developers or is constantly flip-flopping in terms of price, that's not all that passive because overall, you're going to be stressing about what's happening with this NFT. Is it safe? Is it legit? Is it going to hold its value? There's a lot of things you might worry about. And sometimes this is justified, being a little bit more active in your investing. But especially if we're looking for passive income, we want to try to find some projects that are safer in hopes that over time, you'll just accrue that money and hopefully make an active income by doing something else, buying and selling crypto, your job, whatever you're doing. You hope to do something that is active and have some other kind of asset that is passive. So the things I'm going to mention in today's video are in the goal of being as passive as possible. Again, I'm always checking my NFTs. I enjoy it. I love looking at the price, but sometimes you want to be a little safer with what projects you invest in. But before any further, guys, if you all are enjoying, make sure to check out my Patreon down below in the description. Do tons of awesome stuff over there, including my private Discord chat, my exclusive NFT watch list, so you guys can see exactly what NFTs I'm looking at, my altcoin buying checklist, and of course, alerts on every single NFT I buy and sell, so you guys know exactly when I am buying or selling a project. Definitely check it out. And to be honest with you guys, I think it's a steal for only $10 a month. So once we have that in mind, you guys have to understand how staking actually works. So staking NFTs is typically the process that allows you to generate some passive income. Now, staking, what you're doing is you are essentially lending your NFT out. You are locking it away with the developer of the NFT, and you are acting as a validator by doing that. You are helping process transactions. You are helping process blocks on the blockchain. Now, this is exactly how staking any asset works. Staking crypto, Ethereum, any of the basic cryptos, that's exactly how this works. And NFTs are no different in this sense. But you don't need to be a DeFi expert. I'm certainly not a DeFi savant, and I know a lot of people are not either, because DeFi is complicated. You don't have to be an expert. All you have to know and understand is that, look, there are some inherent risks that come with staking. Obviously, the fact that the asset could go down, a lot of issues with validator nodes and whatnot. It can get a little risky, but overall, if you look for projects that are on the safer end, you could stake them and make some pretty good money. Now, the first thing we have to talk about is APR or APYs, and that is annual percent return, annual percent yield. It really doesn't matter. There's a bunch of different terms that get thrown around, but this is how much you are estimated to make per year just by holding on to these projects. Now, the problem is they oftentimes are so high, so extremely through the roof, that it ends up diluting the supply, causing inflation, and then the value of the token goes down. Now, a prime example of this is something called Time Wonderland, and this has been very, very popular. Believe me, it could still make money in the future, presuming enough people are aping into this. But the problem with this asset is that over the past 3 months, yes, it has taken an absolute nosedive, and I told people this at the time, but the problem with an asset like this is that there is no max supply, and that's what you guys can see right here. We have the current supply that is circulating right now at a little over 1 million, and the max supply is literally unlimited. So there will be time that is minted forever. a ridiculous amount of time that is just continuously being created. Now, the problem with this is that you're creating inflation. This is exactly what happens with the US dollar. They act as if there's an unlimited amount, and certainly with a lot of these cryptos, they act as if there's an unlimited amount. This doesn't always mean, however, you can't make money with high APYs or APRs. So an example of something that I think fits in the NFT space that you guys might like is something called Looks Rare. Now, as you guys can see, when you look over the past month, it's doing all right. It's definitely not doing bad. It did surge up to around $7 or so, but it's had a nice comeback from the whole sort of crypto crash that we all experienced. Now, what I like about this is that, as you guys can see, there is a max supply. So the max supply of this that you guys can see is 1 billion. So there are 1 billion Looks tokens that could be created. So that's very cool. It puts us at around a $4.5 billion market cap, which, definitely would not be all that high. But even so, even if, some way, somehow the value of the token appreciates, which it probably will, even if that's the case, this still fits on the charts. This isn't knocking off, this isn't blowing the lid off of the crypto market. It's very feasible that you could have a ton of people that are receiving looks in passive income. And again, this is a much better idea, I think, than something that has an unlimited supply. So again, LooksRare is an NFT platform. They are out there for around a month now, and this is something actually that I've been using for making some passive income. So again, these guys are the main competitor to OpenSea, and OpenSea has a slew of problems, as I'm sure you guys know, but here is the APR. So the annual percent return is around 567%. So if you put in $100 today, presuming that the value of the Looks token stays the same, may go up, may go down, hard to say, but presuming that the value stays the same, you will make $567 per year by putting in 100 right now. So that's definitely not bad. That's fantastic. Now, again, we do run into the fact that, hey, crypto could crash. This APR could definitely go down over time, and in fact, it probably will go down over time, but it's still not a bad idea, especially right now. So here's what I have made from Looks. And again, I kind of consider this NFT passive income because they're an NFT platform. So if you buy and sell NFTs on LooksRare, which I know tons of people do, if you buy and sell NFTs, you could actually make some looks. You could actually make it by buying and selling NFTs. So what I've made so far is around $242 in wrapped Ethereum. So that's 0.1 Ethereum. Can't complain about that. That is just being collected on around a $1,500 investment that I put into this. So definitely not bad. I cannot complain about that. Around $1,500. And so far that has made me $242 in wrapped Ethereum, which is always cool. But take a look right here. We are compounding. We are actually earning looks as well. So the looks token is being earned. So I started with around, 348, and now I'm at 398. And it's just getting consistently factored back into my stake. So every time I earn some looks, it is being restaked. So when I take the 50 looks and multiply that, of course, by the $4, I've made around $200 in looks as well. So overall, I've made around $440 in around 2 weeks or so of staking looks. And again, I really cannot complain about that. That is definitely better than a lot of other passive income opportunities out there. Now, a problem you're going to have to factor in when trying to make passive income with NFTs is that a lot of times the tokens you're getting, they're a little obscure. They're a little small in terms of market cap, and overall, they could be risky at times. Now, a prime example of this is the loot token, which you guys can see right here. So this is for Cops Game, which was one of the greatest passive income opportunities just a few days ago. But take a look at this, guys. Absolutely brutal. Down 34% here just in the past 24 hours. Headed all the way from around 1/10 of a cent all the way down to like 1/4 of a cent or 1/40th of a cent or whatnot here at 0.0004. So took an absolute nosedive, and the reason for this is because there have been issues staking. So this is for Cops Game on Solana. So they are consistently minting more of the cops and robbers, and initially this was a great idea because you would realistically make around $15, $10 to $15 per day per robber you had, and each robber only cost around $100-$150. So that definitely wasn't bad. In 10 days or so, you would have made your money back. So for me, I personally purchased 4 robbers, around $400 worth. But the problem is these bottom two I haven't been able to stake. The website has been having issues. I've gotten a lot of tweets about this, and apparently the developers have not been that transparent in their Discord. So yes, I have 2 staked, but these 2 I cannot stake. So yes, I still am earning a good deal of loot. I have earned around 20,000 loot per day per 2 of them. So 10,000 loot per 1 robber would be more if I was actually able to stake the 4 of them, but I'm having issues with that, and I know a lot of people are as well. So overall, you take that $10 amount per day. That would have been the case had the loot token sustained its price, but unfortunately, I think people got scared, and people were, of course, receiving their passive income loot and swapping it for something else, and that caused the value to absolutely tank. So would this be a good time to perhaps buy some loot on itself in hopes of it appreciating, or maybe buy some robbers or cops while they're very cheap? Definitely might be. I've already put in more money than I feel comfortable with on a project like this that, again, very well tomorrow could just vanish. So definitely something worth being careful about. But overall, this was a great opportunity, but you can see the risks associated with something like this, and I knew that going into this, so I'm not crying about this or anything. I kind of knew that going in, but definitely do be careful, because when you receive tokens like this, it's very common for people to swap them for something else. And again, is that really a dumb idea? Definitely not. If you receive whatever token out there, if you're staking generic cat NFT and you receive cat token, is it better to hold on to the cat token for a year, or do you want to swap that for USDC, USDT, Ethereum, Solana? There are a lot of better options out there, and I think it's probably a healthy thing to do, to, especially again if you're staking on Solana where you have very little fees, to take that and take 50% of everything you earn through staking and swap it for something stable like Solana or USD or Ethereum. Try to keep those things in mind, because a lot of these tokens, as much as I may love them, could go down tomorrow. Another example of passive income that I absolutely love is Metroverse. So this is an NFT that I still think is relatively affordable for some people. I don't think I would buy an NFT that's worth this right now, but I was able to get in here at around 0.7, so the value of this NFT has doubled since I initially purchased it. But again, what I love about Metroverse is that 87% of them are currently staked in the Metroverse vault, and this is just one of the best NFTs out there. I really believe it. I mean, they have an insane amount of volume traded. Their Twitter is professional. The game looks gorgeous. I really do like what they are creating here. And again, this is not sponsored. This is just my personal opinion. I like what Metroverse has done. So when I take a look at the Metroverse vault here, this is my block here, which again is worth around 1.4 Ethereum, and per day it is earning 236 MET earnings per day. Now, when we factor that in, of course, that 236, when we multiply that times the actual value here of MET, which you guys can see on screen, is around 12 cents. You guys can do the math. You take 12 cents or 10 cents if you want to round down and multiply that times 200. That is around 25-ish bucks per day, which again, definitely not bad. And you guys can see I've earned in the past 5 days, 7 days, I've earned 1,200 MET, which is fantastic. That's $100, $120 for basically doing nothing, for holding on to an NFT that I think is pretty reputable. It's ranked in like the top 10 on OpenSea right now, and for holding on to this, I have made $100 this week by doing absolutely nothing. And again, the value of this MET token could very, 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 very well go down. So, if I was smart, if I wanted to be really ambitious, I could swap this. I could swap 50% of the MET that I have earned for USD if I wanted to, but apparently you'll be able to use this MET to upgrade your blocks or something like that in the future. So I'm going to take the risk with the $50 and hold on to it in hopes that MET is able to appreciate over time. But again, if this were a garbage NFT, I would be a lot more leery about this. And again, the value would probably be more susceptible to go down. But because I believe in this project, I truly like it, I have no issues with holding on to the MET that I'm earning. Now, another example I like is something called Sea Shanties. And this is one of my favorite NFTs out there. This is something I found from Twitter. A lot of people were tweeting this at me, and I decided to ape in when it was a floor of 9 Solana. But this is like a SpongeBob-themed NFT called Sea Shanty, of course, and you make 6.9 Triton per day. Now, these NFTs right now have a floor of around 15 Solana, so that's arguably around $1,500, which is a lot of money, but I do believe these are probably worth it in the long run. So right around a $1.50 value when they first initially launched. Now, that has gone down a little bit, so it's down now to, when we look at the liquidity pool, down to around $1.03. Definitely not bad, still holding its value over $8. So again, what they did is, once you launch this, you're making 6.9 Triton per day. And you guys can see from my one staked sea shanty, which I've been staking for 3-4 days, I think, I've made around 21.5 Triton. So when we take a look at the liquidity pool, that's around $21, $22. And again, that's only for like a few days. Over a month, people have estimated that this makes around $200 to $300 per month. Now, if you had 4 of these sea shanties and aped in a little bit more, maybe, that would be a great deal of money per month for doing basically nothing. Now, another thing I like about this, and a good indicator for me, is that there are so many that are staked. So only around 300 people, who I guess didn't get the memo that you could do this, are not staking there. So again, the more people that are staking, the better off. And the fact that this is on Solana makes this pretty cool, because I could redeem this with basically no fees. And if I didn't believe in the Triton token, I could very well swap it for USDC. And that's something that, again, if I was very worried about, what Triton was going to do in the future, I could just swap it. And again, I think the smartest thing to do is to go 50-50. You hold on to the token 50%, in hopes that maybe it goes up and they improve the project over time. But you also take your 50% out in hopes that, I just want to keep some money in case NFTs go belly up tomorrow. I want to have some United States dollar to just hold into my wallet and keep it there. So I think that's probably the smartest idea. And again, this is a lot nicer than even, say, LooksRare. And as much as I love LooksRare, I think it's definitely one of the best options out there. As much as I love it, the problem is it's on the freaking Ethereum network. And the problem with that is that gas fees are, give or take, $100 at any time of the day. So if I were to take out my $241 of passive income from LooksRare, the problem is I would have to pay $100 in freaking gas. So how is that worth it? It's not. So again, that's kind of the problem with something like this. And that's why I really do think that Solana options out there may even be better. And again, probably the same thing with Metroverse. I haven't tried, but I bet you if I wanted to take out my Met, I would also have to pay gas fees. So definitely do keep that in mind. And, if you're going for these Ethereum projects, you might want to be a little bit careful about how you go about that. So with that being said, everybody, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly do hope you guys have enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. I tried to keep this short, but things went a little long. I hope you guys didn't mind. If you guys enjoyed, drop a like. Again, check out the Patreon down below in the description so you guys can see exactly what NFTs I'm buying, my exclusive watch list, and so much more awesome stuff over there. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.